Well, that's the difference, right? You've done it as a what I was thinking that towards the end of it is you've done it as a challenge, and I've seen a couple of other YouTubers who have just done it as a challenge. But you've got to look at the reality that there's some people that are going to be so hooked to it, it won't be a challenge for them. They're going to be doing it because that is what they would like to do with their life. Because it's in a wild way, it's a form of escapism. If you want to sort of spend that long in VR, so there's that side of VR is what sort of gets me. And then obviously I've read Ready Player One. I've watched the movie. It seems like it can take over someone's life quite easily, and I say that with knowing how much a phone's taken over everyone's life, how much a PC screen or a PC monitor, sorry, or a laptop screen has taken over everyone's work life, their social life with Facebook. And I can't help but sort of imagine, especially with Apple's advancements in VR, that that's going to be the replacement of your phone. That's going to be the replacement of your social life. That's going to be the replacement of your escapism, like Netflix or gaming. Um,
Yeah. Yeah, it's not only have we let phones take over our lives, but social media in general. Like if you spend 90% of your time looking at human beings on Instagram and then you go for a walk, you're going to be like, wow, these people don't look very good or they don't look very real because you start to accept that what you're seeing on there is real when it's couldn't be further from it. You know, it's a good reminder. I mean, I feel like it would be healthy and good for people to go look at real human beings every day. Go walk around, go people watch, go have a coffee and see what real people look like and how they act. Because if you're only looking at them on Instagram, you're going to start to have this fake vision of what you think humans look like. And then when you look in the mirror yourself, you're never going to feel good about that because you don't have a filter on. You don't have the exact perfect angle that you're out from the side where you've already changed everything about your appearance. You know, humans were beautiful creatures naturally, but yet we make this fake image that we hold everybody to. And that's the danger when, you know, if you started to spend all your time even in VR, but the avatars are not very like body friendly or accepting, like they're all, you know, ridiculously huge chests and tiny little waists. And if you spend enough time in there, you look at real people and you'd be like, oh, these shapes look all wrong to me. Well, no, you've looked at the wrong shapes.
so do you think with Apple and if they're making augmented reality, so augmented reality is more enhancing your what you can see. So for example, I know you can use augmented reality at a clothing store, for example, to see what a certain outfit would look like on you. But I know with the way Apple and the big tech companies are, would they not have? So, say everyone's logged in, everyone's got augmented reality glasses on, and everyone's logged into the iOS. You walk outside, you're not still not seeing people for who they are. You're now seeing the Instagram version of people because they will have their filters on turned on the iOS system. So as you're walking around, you're still seeing people with perfect skin, perfect body types. Well, perfect as in Instagram perfect.
Yeah, it's a dangerous precedent to set. You think about, you know, what point do we allow these virtual versions? And the conversation's kind of coming up with these AI filters people are using right now and posting these AI pictures of themselves on social media. And it's funny because all this time I've seen even their filtered versions on social media. And I see this AI version, I'm like, that looks nothing like this person, even versus their filter. This is like absolutely ridiculous. This is like looking at, you know, pixie fairies or something from a cartoon, and people are like putting these on like these are themselves. And I know it's kind of cliche to say, but I just feel so bad for like the kids. Like I feel like at least I was around just enough before social media that I have like a realistic grounding of what people are like and look like and how bodies change and develop over time. And I feel like for some of these young people who have their whole life they've looked at scrolled through Instagram and thought that was real people somewhere in the world, it's not healthy. And if it gets to the point where now the glasses that we even wear, we only see avatars over people instead of seeing those real people, that is very dangerous. and it's very unhealthy, and I worry about that. But I guess at the same time, if now your avatar is all people ever see of you, you don't really have to worry about what you actually look like because it's just your avatar. So maybe people will walk out feeling super confident knowing that, because that's, you see that now even in VR chat. I've met people who say, in real life I can't talk to people, I feel completely awkward, but here in my avatar that I now feel like is more me than my real body, I'm the most confident person. I'll walk up to anyone and strike up a conversation. It gives them that side of reality that is really healthy, that human interaction, but yet they've never done it themselves. So it gets to the point where they're so disconnected that I do worry. As someone who loves tech and stuff, I always see that grim future that I'm afraid of.
Yeah, I guess like with the podcast with me and Aaron, because like I said, we started it. I think I said it off camera. We started off doing it about tech, society, culture, and then as we were getting heavily invested in the tech side of stuff, we were getting heavily invested in society at the same time. And then we saw two parallels: the way society, well, tech sort of leading society in a certain way, and yeah, like you said, there's a whole generation that are coming up that are so used to seeing people through their phones rather than seeing people in person. We were blessed that at an early age we couldn't ring a friend easily. We would have to get up, get out of the house, and go and knock on the door, or wait for a certain time of night to ring them on the landline. There's a whole generation that have come up now who can instantly get in contact with anyone they know, and most of their interactions are only from behind the screen. It is very, actually quite scary.
Yeah, I feel like you notice it a bit when you're in public as well, and you speak to people like younger people. I feel like they really struggle to actually talk to you, even because a lot of them they work like bar jobs or waitresses or those kind of jobs. So if you're like in a restaurant, they just feels about the interactions a little bit off, and they're not as friendly. But I guess that's because they're not used to going out and actually talking to people in the real world.
Yeah, I saw that managing Starbucks for the years I did. I'd hire people, and at first it was tough for them. They hadn't talked to people a lot face to face, and the good thing about the job was over time they got much better at it. They felt much more natural with people. But as we go further towards that side of technology, as people start to just do mobile order pickups for their stuff and we stop even that, are those jobs still going to help people change and become the happy version of themselves that can strike up a conversation with another person, or will we totally lose that? I feel like we talk like this, and lots of people are like, oh, you're just worrying about stuff. Like, look at our society now. Like 30 years ago, everybody thought it'd be terrible and it's fine. And then I'm like, I think if I took a video of all these people with their faces down, their phones, not talking to each other back 30 years and showed people, that would have been exactly what they were afraid of happening then. And like, we're just living it now and thinking it's fine.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
actually a very good point, and it's something I've not actually thought about. Where people in the past did say and warned about this stuff, but everyone today just says yeah, the world's fine. But it's actually not when you look around. Well, the world is fine, but there's issues that people are warning about are actually happening. Like you go to a restaurant sometimes and you see like a group of people and they're all just on the phone, and you're like, why have you all gone out together and you're on your phones?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. We're living that fear that people said, and we don't want to be alarmist and think that, oh, it's going to get worse, I think that there will always be a point where we think, okay, we got to change something. But I do wonder, how far will it go and how disconnected are people going to feel? Because from talking to people online now, it's hard to know, is it really that, or are we just seeing the awareness of it? But it seems like people feel more disconnected than ever. And yet we're more connected through social media and our devices than we've ever been. Not only can I talk to my family, I can talk to someone I don't even know on the other end of the world in an instant on Omegle, yet none of us feel like we're connecting to people anymore. So how do we fix that?
in a way, it's yeah, we're more connected because we can talk to random people that we don't actually know. But it's more of a substitute than it is a sort of a next resort, because unless you're doing something like we've obviously come across you on over the internet, which is great, but we're having a more intimate conversation where we're actually getting to know each other and what we know about and spreading ideas. But when you chat to someone on Omegle or on these Twitter various platforms, you're not getting someone's full self. the way you would if you was to go down to a bar with someone and have an hour or two conversation. You'll get to know a lot more than what someone's going to show you for that hour online. So if you're on Twitter, for example, Twitter or Instagram, which is continuous, you're only getting to see one side of someone's reality. Whereas back in the day, when we weren't all sort of connected in such a widespread way, we were getting to know people who were very close to us, and we're getting to know the good parts and the bad parts of people, which made it feel a lot more wholesome because you felt a lot more connected to someone knowing the negative parts of someone's life than the way the internet is at the moment. You're just seeing everyone's living the best life, what it looks like from the other side of the screen.
Yeah, it was a common thing when Facebook first started getting big. And I remember someone be like, "Oh, I want to know something about this person." And I'd be like, "Well, we can look at their Facebook." And then this common phrase, people say, "Oh, well, that's not real. That's nothing about them. You're not going to learn anything from that." And I was like, "You're going to learn a lot. What you're going to learn is what they want you to think when you go look at that. You may not learn the negative sides, but you're going to learn everything that they're trying to project about themselves. And that's still just as common now, even sitting here, we're having this conversation. It's very real, but like, I've got lights here that are helping light me in a way that, is nice looking. I've got this whole room set up that I've been able to build because of this channel, but like, this is where I do my YouTube and my work and stuff. Like, this is my environment here, but my whole home doesn't look like this. This would be a pretty gamer thing to like have people walk into and see in my living room. This would be a little much, but for this room, it's really cool. And I like that. But it's exactly that. You're still only seeing this picture, this window into someone's life of what they want you to know about them. And it's completely different where, like you said, if you go down to the bar, yeah, people can still put on their best impressions and stuff. But I mean, they spill a drink or they drop something on the floor, and we all do it. But you see those real moments about them, and you see their reaction to something unexpected in those moments. And that tells you more about who they are as a person than, some picture of them looking over the Grand Canyon on Instagram is going to tell you.